website Deadspin melted down this week after new ownership told staffers to focus on sports, prompting a bunch of employees to quit. It's a turning point for an outlet used to casting a much wider net, and it raises questions about how far employees should push back against the people who sign their paychecks. Adam Riley has more.
Visit Deadspin and you'll get things like this snarky take on the Houston Astros losing the World Series. But they also have a history of great scoops, like revealing that college football star Manti Te'o's tragic romance with a terminally ill young woman was a hoax.
There's no evidence of her, existing in any way other than, after she had allegedly died.
More recently, Deadspin exposed ESPN's attempt to avoid politics while covering the NBA-China standoff. But sometimes the site ventured beyond sports, like in this viral video, which showed Sinclair anchors across the country reading from the same script.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
And other non-sports content just went for dumb humor, like this mashup from Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing.
I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers.
But now, new owner GO Media wants Deadspin to change its approach, saying the site must restrict itself to sports and sports-related material. That directive caused a newsroom uproar, leading to the editor's firing and several staffers quitting in protest. At Barstool Sports, which Deadspin has covered critically, founder Dave Portnoy gloated.
Deadspin, they're burning. I love it.
Meanwhile, GO Media is defending itself, saying Deadspin still has an incredibly broad mandate, since sports touches on nearly every aspect of life.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. It is a broader mandate. One thing that didn't come out that we did some research on this week that Adam really dug into is that the Deadspin editors and writers have been incredibly critical of their owner, this Jim, what's his name, spam fella, and disparaging of the way he has run the company. And he's done something. He wiped out whole groups of people and brought in all his pals from Forbes and all of this. But so they've held nothing back. And I think that's one of the things he's telling them don't write about. So, and we know we do a lot of sports-related stories here. It does, reach out, but it could kill their own brand.
This is a website that's about snarkiness.
Yeah.
Like, how do you buy this this website and then proceed to dismantle it? And it seems like they bought something they didn't quite understand and proceeded to kind of dismantle it. They also, by the way, bought The Onion, so I want to know what the...
Oh, yeah, they can tell them no more satire?
No more satire?
No more satire?
I mean, what are the instructions there? I don't know. I think it's a little brave of them, actually, to go after journalists that are obviously wittier and more popular than they are, because, I mean, even Bernie Sanders was, like, tweeting in support of the Deadspin reporter. So I think this Span feller is, he has what, 2,000 Twitter followers? I just...
and what should you expect happens if you work at an entity, all right, and it is bought by a private equity firm. They're not journalists, all right, and when they buy it, they control it. They have editorial control. They get to decide how they're going to cover things. That's just a fact of life. As much as it might be painful when you work at a place, they're the ones that get to decide, based on our research, this is what we think will make us money because we're a private equity firm. And good for you if you don't think that's, for you, and you leave. And I applaud them for having the guts to do that. Some of these
all those staffers, that's up to like 10 people.
And what does the woman think, Megan Greenwell? What does she think is going to happen when you write a piece critical of the ownership that you're going to be fired or that somebody's going to be upset about that owns the place?
I know.
Well, 2 quick points. First of all, if they've bought The Onion, I urge everyone to save those pictures of a bare-chested Joe Biden polishing his Corvette, because they may disappear from the Internet. The other thing is, even though I agree with everything you said, Mike, this was one of the very few success stories in digital media. So you would think that the owners would say, well, you know what, we don't like being criticized, but we're making money. Maybe we should leave them alone.
Well, I just have to go to one other point, which is, we believe in diversity and inclusion. They got rid of every woman who was in line for a promotion and many others and replaced them with all his friends from Forbes. So to Farah's point, This is not Forbes. I enjoy Forbes, but Deadspin was a totally different thing. So why are you trying to make another Forbes when Deadspin is successful?
And the
New managers bring in their own people.
I understand that. I'm just saying we're talking about the vibe of the place, you know.
The non-sports stories were doing some of the best stories and making money for them. So why? I don't know. It makes no sense.
And there were some really funky ones that had tangentially sports, like that Teo Manto thing. The guy was having the relationship with the non-existent girlfriend who died. And
they
all
were
that.
known for being edgy. Listen, I agree with you that it was brave to come out and say whatever you're going to say, but